Okay, brothers and sisters, welcome back to the unforeseen but very entertaining episode 4 of the Ramen Not So mini series. So in this episode, I'm going to be serving up my bowl of ramen to 2 top chefs from London. First up, the stock. Like, it's just immense. I'm so proud of it. Like, yeah, I worked really hard in it. I put 3 days of work, but the result is something that's immense, something that's beautiful. Like, the intensity of flavour is absolutely amazing, and like, it's that packed with flavour and that reduced down that when it's cold, it's gelatinous. It's like a jelly, and it's a pork jelly of deliciousness. What's exciting about this is it's the perfect accompaniment to go with the gluttonous pork broth. It's just going to cut through it, and it's going to give this balance to the dish that will be perfect. So let's pass it. It's got that garlicky, carbony, bitter vibe. Perfect. Now the pork. Now it's time to take the string off and get it into some nice thin slices. I cooked it with some excess fat on just to keep it moist, because there's nothing worse than dry pork. I'm going to trim that off and then slice it. Like, that is a complete triumph. I'm so proud of that. Like, you can just still see the jelly inside, which means that it's super moist, it's not been overcooked. Oh, mate, that's gonna just kill it on top of the ramen. Now, for a little tip from episode 1. Everybody calm down. Okay, so that's my pork done. Now, I need to move on to making the tear. No. Okay, there were a few comments about my pronunciation. That's never happened before. So my tare starts with making some dashi, which starts with the mighty kombu. I've got about 2.5, 3 litres of filtered water. Then I'm adding my kombu, so I want about 2 good sized big sheets. Get those in. Right, it's been steeping for half an hour, so I've turned the hob on and now it's bringing it up to the boil. As soon as it's done that, we'll take the kombu out. The reason we do that is you leave it in, it will make it bitter. Okay, there is part of me that's thinking, is it worth all this effort? And this is where the schizophrenic food busker comes in, because the chef part of me is like, what did you just say? Get back in that kitchen, get your prep done, and get me my ramen. And the other part of me is like, oh mate, there's no way I'm gonna do this at home. You know, what I want is I want a hack ramen. Hack ramen? That's a good idea. Now it's time to get the bonito flakes in. Okay, so I've just turned it down to a simmer. I'm gonna let it tickle away there for 5 minutes. Any scum that comes up to the top, then I'm gonna skim that because it can affect the flavour. And then it gets taken off and it just lets sit there for sort of 10, 15 minutes, and then I need to pass it. And then what you essentially have is this seasoning of the sea. It's the salty element, but it won't have that harsh saltiness. It's got that beautiful, delicate saltiness that comes from the seaweed and the shaved tuna, the bonito flakes. Okay, I'm gonna let that steep now for 15 minutes. There's a lot of waiting around with ramen. Now, when you're making this, what you've got to remember is that you're not making it as a standalone product. you're making this as a seasoning that's then going to be diluted by all the other ingredients, primarily the pork soup. So it needs to be salty. It needs to be a salty seasoning. So make sure that you don't make it to your soup taste. You make it to a salty seasoned taste. Oh, mate, that is a thing of absolute beauty. Like the fermented soy along with the kombu, the dashi, gives this almost meaty flavour that's there in the background, just being like, and then the saltiness that you get from those other elements of the bonito and the kelp, the seaweed. It gives it this beautiful sea taste. Those two things together are absolutely delicious, and it's just on the right side of salty. Okay, brothers and sisters, we are ready for service. Ding dong. Right, so what toppings did you decide? Right, so I think we established that you guys like an egg with your ramen. So I'm going to use the Burford Brown, like Tom said in episode 2. The Burford Brown has got a lot of flavour, but it's that egg yolk that it's prized for because it's just so golden and just looks amazing on top, but also tastes so good. So we're going to put this into boiling water for 4 minutes, and then we're going to straight into ice cold water. But the key, the absolute key to a perfect egg, well, take a knife or a pin's better, and you just put a hole in the base of the egg. Now, the reason that you put that hole there is so that when it goes into the hot water, it allows the little bit of air that's in the egg that's forced out by the pressure of the cooking, and so you don't get a dimple at the bottom, number one. Number two, that's going to deliver perfect presentation, and we know that ramen's a little bit obsessive. And thirdly, it's so much easier to peel the egg. I'm now going to drop it into some hot boiling water for exactly 4 minutes. When that's done, it comes out into ice cold water and let it sit there for a good sort of 10 or 15 minutes. And then I take the egg and I just bash it down, and then the egg is just so simple to peel. To marinate the egg, we use a third soy, a third water, a tablespoon of sugar. Just mix that in, and then we get a soft, hard-boiled eggs in there. Easy. Okay, so that's the eggs done. So I'm going to let those mushrooms steep in that hot water also for half an hour, and then once those mushrooms are rehydrated, they're going to form part of one of my toppings on top of my ramen. And then the liquid, well, I'm going to use that for something else. So what do we finish up with? I'll tell you what. Sesame seeds. Roasted golden sesame seeds. These guys have just gone in the oven till they just release their natural oils and that beautiful, beautiful sesame aroma. That's going to go on top. There's going to be a little like pop and crackle from when you eat them. I've also ground a load down, and that's going to go in with the tari. We're here. It's only taken 4 episodes. Yeah, I think it's time. So let's add that to the party. So that's my mise en place done. Now it's time to plate up. I need to heat my bowl up. Water on for my noodles. Burford brown egg. so good. The depth of the pork soup really comes through, but that seasoning that we've put in there just helps bring it to life. The shiitake mushrooms are just such a good vibe. And the pork, with that little bit of glazed soy, I think the lads are going to like this. Do it, boys.
Okay, we can do it. Thank you. Did I see that you cooked this for 60 hours? Is that right?
Yeah.
You know my thoughts on ramen. You know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I haven't had many, and most of them I've had in the UK. But this is fucking good.
Go on, mate.
Really fucking good, mate.
What are you saying?
I'm saying very good. It's on the heavier end of ramen that you'd find in Japan, I would say.
Okay.
You've really hit the mark in terms of porkiness and
Good.
the texture on your mouth and the stickiness, even on your fingers. Like,
Yeah, you feel it, don't you?
yeah, it's really good.
Oh, I'm delighted. I'm really glad you like it. Yeah, I tell you what though, it's like learning about ramen and learning to cook it. It is so full on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh my God, like the stock, the noodles, the toppings, all the different techniques, the hours that you have to put in
Yeah, there's no
to make
shortcut.
a frigging ramen.
There's no shortcut.
I
to
think
a
that's
proper
it.
bowl.
There isn't any shortcut.
No, not at all. And you think, like, you do think yourself, oh, the bowl it looks pretty simple, straightforward. but
Yes.
actually, a lot of hours goes into making that one bowl.
It's the thing that I absolutely love about the Japanese and what you guys are doing at Bone Daddies as well. It is proper artisanal work.
Yeah.
It is really proper cooking.
Yes.
You know, we a lot of people look at this as, oh, it's like a 2-minute noodle bowl of noodle. No way, man.
It's so not, is it?
No way. Like, I'm going to be riding on my bike home with that flavour of pork just floating off
Yes.
my... I'm going to float home, bro. I'm floating home.
I think the thing that's reinforced for me is technique. It's technique after technique after technique, and it's like all the different elements. So easy to get one of them wrong, and then the whole thing's not up to standard.
Yeah.
Look at all these ingredients that you've got
Yeah.
here, mate.
Yeah.
You know, you've got so many beautiful ingredients here, but you know, out of everything, you get little bits of turkey, little bits of sesame, little bits of pork. You know, you've got the delicious noodles that you handmade, which was impressive. Really, really impressive.
So yeah, I really can't believe that I'm at the end of my ramen journey. Yeah, it's nothing like I expected. It was really hard work actually. It's really given me a cold. No, it's really given me a newfound respect for the level of technique that's involved in making a great bowl of ramen. And you know, just had two of the best chefs in London come down. They both really liked my ramen, and that just makes me feel brilliant. You know, makes me feel like I don't know. Makes me feel good. Two top restaurant chefs liked my bowl of ramen. First bowl of ramen I've ever made. But I'm not going to lie, it was really hard work. Like the techniques that are involved in making that ramen, and the attention to detail that's required, it's bonkers. It's bonkers. So what occurred to me is, I want to know how to make a bowl of ramen in 2 hours. What occurred to me is, I want to know how to make a cheap ramen. So next week, I'm going to show you how to make ramen in 2 hours. Certain people from a certain country possibly shouldn't watch that episode. And then I'm going to take a break from ramen because it's killing me.